When was the last time that you truly saw yourself? And I don't mean in a selfie. I don't mean looking in a mirror. I mean truly saw who you are. When was the last time? Because here's the truth. The only eyes that we can't see are our own. And the only mind that we can't fully witness is the one that's between our head. Yet we spend so much energy valuing other people's opinion while doubting our own power. I wonder why that is. I used to wake up and immediately start checking messages, like immediately, as soon as my eyes opened. And if a friend needed help, Johnny on the spot. I was right there every single time. If work called, didn't matter whether or not I was off, as long as I wasn't on like a vacation, I would go in on my day off. And it felt normal to me. Like, that was the crazy part. It felt completely normal until one morning I realized that I couldn't even describe what I wanted for breakfast without asking someone else's preference first. I'm gonna give you an example, real life example. You're walking with your best friend or just a friend in general, and they say, man, ooh, I got a taste for breakfast. Like, do you want some breakfast? Like, what do you want? What do you want to eat for breakfast? And you immediately say, I don't know. Well, what do you want? Why do we do that? Why do we not know what we want? And even if we do know what we want, why do we have to hear what somebody else wants until we make our decision? Why do we do that? Like, that's when it literally hit me that I have learned to see everyone else's needs except for my own. And I was tired of it. It was time for me to try to take my power back, right? Because when you can't truly see yourself, you start to entertain all types of impossibilities here. That's what we do. Like the belief that everyone else's comfort matters more than your own peace. Like, that's literally what happens to our mind when we start thinking like that. You'll begin to think that somehow your limitations are facts when really it's just old stories that we tell ourselves. And the thing about all of that is, like, when you truly start to value other people's opinion, you'll continue to shrink. That's what happens. Because we don't realize that expectations is actually our greatest power. It's our superpower. That's what expectations is. But if we constantly expect to be overlooked in life, life will gladly grant and meet that expectation for you, if that's how you feel. And I was actually listening to something the other day in my car, and he said, somehow we put more value on our limitations than we do on our leverage. I was like, what? When I heard that. And story time, because you guys know that I love my stories. Like, I was at work when I was working with my former employer. I was at work wrapping up a note, and a colleague actually looked at me and said, you don't even look like yourself right now. And to be honest, I didn't even take that as like an insult. I didn't think that they were being unkind. I just thought that they were just giving me an honest observation. And their words, even if they didn't know it, their words hit me kind of hard, because I had realized that I had been shrinking and pushing through and performing and surviving, but that was not actually living. I was doing the opposite of trying to break those generational curses. I was living in it. I was living in the generational curse. And that night, after I heard that night I came home, I sat in my office and I opened up my journal and I wrote a single line. I'm gonna tell you what it is. Actually, do I have I don't know. My journal's over there, so I'm not going to go get it. But I wrote that I will not entertain impossibilities. That's what I wrote. And the next line, well, actually was all on the same line. I wrote, I will not entertain impossibilities. my leverage is greater than my limits. That's what I wrote. And outwardly, it might seem like it's something small, but that sentence became a standard that I started living by. Because for so long, I thought, well, I might as well stay in this job because this is the best I can get. Like, I might as well, get overlooked for promotions because, this was a good, stable job. This was the best I'm going to get. And after that day, I started telling myself, nah, there's more out there for me. And here's what worked for me and what I still practice to this day. The first thing is a mirror check-in. I do that every single morning when I'm getting ready for work. Like, I stand in front of the mirror, and I talked about this in my last video. I call it mirror mantra, but I'll stand in front of the mirror and I'll ask myself, like, what do I need today? And that is so important because we go through different points throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout the year, and it just goes on and on and on. Not asking ourselves, like, what do we really need? Like, is it rest? Is it me time? Is it family time? Like, what do we need in order to fill our cup? Not what should I need or what should I do, but actually, like, what do you need? And I ask myself that. And whatever it is that I write down or I tell myself that I need, I make sure that I get it. And I think that that's really, really important because you cannot pour from an empty cup. You can't. Number 2 is I do an expectation audit. Like, I write down the areas where I've been expecting less. So whether it's like with working out or whether it's with my job, it could be career, relationship. It could even be how people are speaking directly to you. Whatever area that you've been having a lower expectation for, write it down and replace that old expectation with one that matches your worth. And the funny thing about it is that it could be like a situation at work. It could be anywhere. It could be a situation with your child. It could be any situation where, you feel like somebody might talk to you sideways. You might feel like that. And you might feel like they continue to talk to you sideways. Okay, well, switch out that expectation and put in a new expectation and then stand on that. Stand on your worth for whatever that expectation is. And number 3 is I make sure that I set new boundaries each week. And the biggest thing is that as you're setting boundaries, the hard part about it is the type of boundaries that you set, right? Because I'm huge on before any big decision, I'll sit there and I'll pause and I'll ask myself, like, does this honor the vision that I have for myself at this moment in time? Whether it's a brand deal, whether it's, family situation, a trip, it doesn't matter. Does this vision honor whatever it is that I see for myself or that I have for myself? If it doesn't, the answer is no, period. If it doesn't align with who I am and what I'm becoming, then I'm going to immediately say no. And, today, what I want for you, if you're listening, is to expect more from life and from yourself than whatever your limitations are. Because if you only focus on what limits you, you'll put yourself in a box. And tonight, I want you, when you get home or whenever you finish listening to this, I want you to write down one expectation that you're going to upgrade. And I want you to say it out loud, because the moment you believe in your leverage more than you believe in your limits, everything will shift and people will finally see the real version of you. Like, I promise you, if you focus more on whatever your leverage is, whatever you may be good at. It does not matter. If you focus more on that than you do on anything that limits your ability to get the thing or to do the thing that you want to do, anything. I'll take this channel for example. I'm not the best at editing, and I admit that. But I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna let me not being the best at editing limit my ability to make videos. I'm not. I'm just gonna work with what I got and dive into whatever my leverage is and not worry about that limitation. So I want you to do that in every single situation. You might not be the best at something, but don't let that stop you. Don't let that be your ceiling or the wall that you hit. Don't let that be the reason. And I don't want you to ever feel like you need to try to pour from an empty cup, because I promise you, it's not going to go well for you. If you are constantly emptying out your cupboard to fill someone else's, when it comes time for your cupboard or your cup to be filled, no one's going to fill it. You're going to be responsible for your own cup. You're going to be responsible for filling your own cup. And that's when you'll start worrying about all the things that's impossible, all the things that you can't do. Right? So if this video was helpful, please, please, please hit the thumbs up button, like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate each and every last one of my followers. I truly, truly, truly do. I appreciate you so much. You have no idea. Thank you. My name is Naisha Nicole. Peace.